Hi everyone, I'm Joanna Penn from thecreativepenn.com, and today I'm here with Chuck Heintzelman. Hi Chuck.
Hi, nice to see you.
You too. Thanks for coming on the show. Just a little introduction. Chuck is a programmer with 25 years experience developing software, and he also writes fantasy short stories. His main site is BundleRabbit, which helps authors bundle books together, and his new book is Ebook Bundling, Level Up Your Income with the Power of Bundling, which is just fantastic. And I'm very excited about this book. In fact, I think I was the one who suggested it to you, wasn't I, Chuck?
Yeah. You said, yeah. I was kind of thinking, oh, I should do this, but you were the impetus for me to actually get it done. So after talking to you, a week later, I had it. So
yeah,
it was a pretty quick book.
Yeah, but it's actually pretty in-depth. So I want to start by unpacking the concept of bundling, because I think some people...
Can I start with something first? Sorry to interrupt you here, but I just have to say congratulations on your nomination on the International Thriller Awards for Destroyer of Worlds. That's awesome. I just want to get that out there. So.
Oh, that's very sweet of you. Thank you, Chuck.
No problem.
Okay, so back to bundling. So let's start by unpacking the concept of bundling, because people, I think, get confused about it. So what are the different types? What's the difference between a bundle and a box set, for example? Just explain the different possibilities.
Okay. Bundling's kind of, it's really a general term. I mean, to me, a bundle is a group of books, be they physical or electronic or whatever. Whereas a box set, comes from a physical box set. And so in the electronic world, a box set, you really have a multi-volume ebook. And by separate volumes, you can actually have, each book or story within the box set could have its own title page, its own cover, its own copyright, its own about the author. It's like it's packaged together, but each unit within it is distinct. You see what I'm saying? But like I say, everything's a bundle. Short story collections, that's a bundle of short stories. A novella collection, I mean, you could call that a collection. You could call it a box set, how you package it. Just like Stephen King's The Different Seasons. Remember that? That's a physical novella collection. And you have trilogy and series box sets. You could have sampler collections that showcase a sample of your work across a variety of genres, if you write across a variety of genres. Or you might even come up with a first in series box set, where you might, if you write several series, why not package them together into a box set, sell that, and that gives a reader a taste of the different things you do. But I mean, there's anthologies, there's omnibuses. These are all, to me, bundles. It's like bundle is the all-encompassing term, but really traditionally, if I can say traditionally, since we're talking digital books, and that how long is traditional, bundles, what I first thought of were the sites like Humble Bundle or Story Bundle, where they're selling multiple books. You buy them all at once, but then you go to their website and then you can download them individually. So initially coming into this game, that was kind of where my head was. That's a bundle. Other things are collections and box sets, but I've come to say everything's a bundle.
Yeah, well, it's good to say that, but I know some people, it's interesting when I talk and I'll use the word box set. I tend to use the word box set, and then people will put their hands up and say, but isn't it expensive to do a box set or a bundle? So just to be clear, we are talking about an ebook bundle or box set right here. So we're talking about digital files, either combined together into one file or sold together but downloaded separately onto people's devices.
But the simplest definition, a bundle is a group. An e-bundle is a group of ebooks. No matter how you group them.
Yeah.
Single author, multi-author. You can start subdividing it out, but a bundle is a bundle.
Yeah, and it's actually interesting. I haven't got it right next to me now, but I'm just starting to do print editions of my own single author bundles.
Right.
So,
right.
And they're actually very satisfyingly large, which is they're more like a George R.R. Martin.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, so that can be done too, and I guess it will help the price comparison and things. But generally, we're talking ebook bundles. So let's talk a bit more about the benefits. So I mean, like you mentioned, multi-author box sets or bundles, single authors. So why is bundling so popular with indie authors now? And I guess it has been in the last couple of years.
Well, it's really a low-effort way for indie authors to increase their discoverability and increase their income. I mean, you take the inventory that you have and you package it in different ways and end up with more inventory. And you end up with, and this I think is a real key point, you end up with some higher priced products in your inventory. I mean, if you have just novels at $5.99, let's say, $6.99, all of a sudden you can have some $9.99 products or some $12.99 products. And and especially with multi-author bundles, the big benefit is cross-pollination. I mean, for you to share your audience with, other authors in the book, and they are sharing their audience with you, and that's just for the author side of things. There's also increased ROI. If you have a higher price ticket item in your inventory, you can advertise that item and you have a better return on your investment. But to the reader, there's also benefits. I mean, it's a great deal. Your bundles are almost always 30% off retail if you bought them individually, but you can get them 70, 80% off. And also to readers, we live in the age of Netflix, and people are used to binging their entertainment, so all of a sudden with a bundle, you've got 1 million words you can binge there if you've got a large bundle. And to a reader, it also lets them run across authors they may not have ever known about before, and they can discover new authors. So some other benefits to readers, let me see. Charities. A lot of these bundling sites like Story Bundle and whatnot give you an option to donate a portion of your sale to charity. And I mean, that's a real feel-good thing to the reader, that they're doing something. And also they know that they're helping indie authors, and that's another feel-good thing. So that's about all I have.
Yeah, well, that is a lot of benefits, and it's I do find it really odd when people sort of say, oh well, I wouldn't do a bundle or a box set because it might cannibalize the sales of my individual books, and I want my reviews and things on my individual books. So do you see that bundle readers are different to people who buy individual books? Do you think there's like a different market for bundles?
Yeah, well, okay. Anecdotally, yes, I've talked to authors because it's perfectly logical to think that. In fact, I thought that. I thought, well, how do I buy a book? How do I buy a bundle? And if I read the first in a series and I really liked it, and I go out to buy the next in the series, and I see, oh, well, they have a 3-book bundle, a 3-book box set. I'll buy that over buying them individually and probably save money, even though I've read the first book in that box set. So to me, that seemed like a perfectly legitimate concern. But I've talked to authors and they say no. They say no. It's because you have a higher priced item in your inventory. It's almost like you're hitting a new market that your other books are not hitting. And I think you could speak to that much better than I could, because you have, single novels out there and you have, sets of box sets. And what have you seen?
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting because I can't really comment on the Amazon side so much. I mean, it's difficult to know, but I've done the numbers, but they're not amazing compared to Kobo and iBooks, where 70% of my fiction income is from box sets. Now, I'm not sure that's so much the readers or the merchandising opportunities for box sets, because both Kobo and iBooks working on discounting as a model and, hand choosing things for their marketing. And of course, if you have a higher priced box set, say at $14.99, that you're reducing down to $7.99, you're going to get merchandising and you're going to sell more. So I think it's really interesting. And Kobo and iBooks obviously have their readers are more used to paying higher prices, so I think maybe the discounting looks different. Whereas with, although I heard Lindsay Baroka on the Science Fiction and Fantasy Marketing podcast, she said that the page reads on Kindle Unlimited can be really good for a box set, and I'd never thought about that. So there's a new one in terms of revenue, because of course, like you're saying, if people are going to binge and you've got a 3-book or a 6-book or something available, and you've got that in KU, well, they could be there for ages and you could get a good payout. So I think there's so many possibilities, really, aren't there?
Well, and what's interesting about that is I don't know 100%, are just having a box set, is that actually attracting new readers to your single books? Because you have a larger inventory, so thus you're more discoverable. And does that increase in the single book readership offset those people like me that will jump to a box set because I want to save a little bit of money? I don't know. I have no stats for that, but it's interesting. Bottom line, everything I've heard, it does not seem to cannibalize the sales, but. Again, I'm just going from what people tell me. I don't have a bunch of novels out there, that I've actually run any tests.
Yeah, but it is interesting, and I certainly, without the bundling income, my fiction sales would be a lot lower. So I definitely believe in it. And also, I know, actually, did you cover audiobook bundles in the book? I'm not sure you did.
No, I did not. Initially, and part of the reason is because of BundleRabbit. Initially, I was like, I'm going to do everything, comic book bundles, audiobook bundles, and then I decided, well, let's pare it back down for a year or two and then see that. But yeah, audiobook bundles is another untapped market, really. Yes, there's some out there, but there's so much available.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I see audiobooks as audiobook bundles as in doing 3, as in one file on Audible with 3 books in. It's something that traditional publishing is not really doing yet, whereas we've seen traditional publishing moving into the ebook bundling as they did with print. So it is a really interesting time. But let's talk about the actual technical side. You're a software guy. We're going to come on to your software in a bit. But if listeners want to format their own bundle or box set, what software do you recommend, and how can they actually do that?
Okay. Vellum. Because here's what I did. Let me go back to BundleRabbit and how it first started. And I followed the model of Story Bundle, which was people would buy from the site only, and then they'd be able to download it individually. And then I thought, well, why just be on my site? Why not be on Amazon and iBooks and Kobo, etc.? And I thought, well, then I just need to turn these EPUBs into a box set. And, I said, well, I'm a programmer. I can do this. EPUBs are easy, yada, yada. So I created a program, clicked a button, and wham, it, pushed together 10 ebooks into a box set. And I was testing it out. I'm looking at it. And the first book looked okay. Second book, I get to that, and it looks okay. It's a little different styles and whatnot. Then I went back to the first book, and it totally was messed up because every ebook had their own style sheets. Every ebook had its own formatting, its own way of doing things, and my program just wasn't smart enough to handle all that. But with Vellum, it's so slick. I can build a box set in 5 minutes. I mean, you know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have,
And it's
it's a
fun.
matter of
It's really
dragging
fun.
and dropping. So yeah, I mean, go to the creative Penn/Vellum, right? And
Thanks, Chuck.
sign up for Vellum.
And it's
But yeah,
interesting. I mean, maybe you've got an opinion on the technical side. So obviously, if people have been listening to the show, Vellum is a Mac product.
Yes.
But some people have suggested using Mac in Cloud for if you're a Windows user, that you use Mac in Cloud, which is like a rent per hour Mac service, and then
Right.
you can actually use Vellum within Mac in Cloud. I haven't tried that. Is that something you've heard other people use, or?
Yes. Well, I've heard that yes, you could do this. I know nobody that actually does that, because once they see Vellum, they're like, even the hardcore Windows users are like, wow. I mean, this just makes it so easy. I'm going to go buy a used Mac for $500 because it's worth that much to me just to do it. So yes, I've heard people say yes, you could do this, and people use other programs. I mean, Juto to put together box sets, but it's not. Vellum just makes it easy. Takes the pain out. It doesn't give you, being technically oriented. Sometimes I like to get down to the nitty gritty, and I want to do something just a certain way. And no, you have to live within their constraints. But it doesn't matter because they have great constraints. So
that is true, and it is super fun. And I never thought formatting would fun. I don't even like to call it formatting anymore. It's just kind of creating and making beautiful things. But let's come to BundleRabbit then. So tell us a bit, and we'll come back to other stuff on box sets in a minute. But why did you start BundleRabbit? Tell us a bit more about it and how it's different to some of those other bundle sites you mentioned.
Okay, well, I saw these sites like Humble Bundle and Story Bundle, and great sites, and I've bought books from them. Humble Bundle does a lot of games and whatnot, and I'm not really into that. But and I thought, well, this is cool, but wouldn't it be nice if you could just do it yourself? If you didn't have to have them be the curator. So I set out and I followed the same exact model, with the idea anybody could upload an ebook and anybody could be a curator. And what this did is it created kind of a marketplace there, where right now, I mean, I have almost 1,000 ebooks people have uploaded. This morning I checked, it was 920 something. So, so a lot of people, when they go to publish now, they just, they say, okay, I format everything, I upload to Amazon, upload to Kobo, upload to iBooks, Nook, upload to BundleRabbit. Because you upload what's happening there, and this is, to me, this just blows my mind, the copyright thing. BundleRabbit asks for the specific right, non-exclusive, worldwide ebook bundling rights in the English language. And I mean, that wasn't a right that it even existed a couple years ago. Well, it always existed, but nobody ever thought to cut that little piece of the pie out. So what you have with BundleRabbit is you have this marketplace where there's hundreds of books out there, and if you have a vision for a bundle, you could go out and create your own bundle. And then the software makes it easy to search through these books and say, yeah, I want to add this to my bundle. I want to add this one to my bundle. Great. I have an 8-book bundle, fantasy bundle that, has the yada, yada, yada theme. Well, then what happens to the author? Being an author myself, I made this very author friendly, right? So the author always has a choice of what to do with their IP. You'll get a request to be in a bundle, and then you can kind of check it out and say, I don't really want to be in this bundle, or yes, I want to be in this bundle. So the author has rights all the way along. So wham, the curator makes a bundle, creates it, and puts it out there for sale. Okay, I make it available on BundleRabbit, and this is get up to the curator. They can push it to be published on Amazon, on Kobo, on Nook, and on iBooks right now. And the cool thing is, too, you're an author in that bundle that gets pushed out to Amazon. That bundle shows up in your inventory on Amazon under your, you might have to claim it, but you have more inventory on Amazon, too. And here's how the money's split out, okay? 70% of the net, whatever that is, if it's from a sale from BundleRabbit, then the net is a lot larger because Amazon, takes their chunk, or Kobo takes their chunk. 70% of that is evenly distributed to the authors. 5% goes to the curator, and then 25% goes to BundleRabbit for the service and all that. And that's how I make my money. There's no fees on becoming a member. There's no, nothing there. So that's it in a nutshell. In a long, actually convoluted nutshell, but
no, that's awesome. So, just on the non-exclusivity, so does that mean that the person who puts the curator who puts the bundle together, they cannot put it in KDP Select?
Yes. See, so that's something you need to think about. In fact, I had a bundle that was out for a while, and they decided just to keep it up, and it was up almost a year. Then one of the authors in the bundle said, hey, I want to pull my book out of this bundle because I want to try KDP Select for a while. And I was like, fine. So the bundle came down. It was unpublished everywhere. Because, again, it's the author's choice. I mean, any author could actually break the bundle at any point. How the contract is. So, but yeah, that's something to think about. And there's other programs out there. There used to be Nook First. Is that still going?
Yeah, I think so. But you have to kind of know someone to get in it.
Okay. Yeah. So if you published a book or a story in a bundle, then you would be ineligible for that. So you need to know what you want to do with it. But I mean, 90% of the time, it's going to be a good fit. So.
Yeah, fantastic. And what are some of the most successful bundles you've seen? Like, give us some ideas for what they could be.
Some interesting ones have been short story bundles. Oh. And I hadn't thought initially that would be such a big deal, but 20 short stories, actually 20 ebooks complete with the covers and the author contact, and also by bundled together in a Witch's Brew bundle was a popular Halloween one. There's a Summer Fairies one starting 1st of May, 20 short stories. So that's 20 authors out there making blog posts about it and whatnot. So there's a lot of cross-pollination going on with the short story bundles. But I mean, yes, there have been, there's a Winter Mysteries bundle going right now, which are 10 mystery novels. It's up to the curator to come up with these themes and these ideas. But the surprising one to me was the short story, to bundle so many short stories together. It's kind of big.
That is really cool. And I guess that in old school, that's an anthology. I mean, that's what an anthology is. It's a number of short stories.
Exactly.
Yes.
I mean, the presentation is different because in an anthology, you have the editor writing like an introduction to each one, and you don't have all the marketing material that people should put in their ebooks. Some people don't. I'm not sure why, but I mean, you always have to have at least a link to your site, a link to your newsletter. But a lot of people are really good on. You hit the end of the story. Here's a preview to my next one. Here's links to
all my books.
Yeah, exactly. Which you should do. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. So that's how it should be.
Yeah, fantastic. And then pricing. So people struggle with pricing. So you just mentioned there 20 short stories from different authors. What is the price on that? And of course, the pricing will differ if it's for marketing reasons versus for income reasons, right?
Well, we're playing with that a little bit, but it's going out at $3.99. Okay, which is a real good deal for the readers, but their push really is not profit, because I mean you add that up,
Yeah.
You're getting 20th of that 70% of a sale of two. I mean, it's just pennies every sale. So they're really going for the to expand their audience. But pricing is up. I mean, you know what's interesting is back on the Coast Workshop there, back in October, Mark Lefebvre showed this chart of retail prices and how well they sell on Kobo. And, it's kind of an interesting chart. It started at one side and, 99 cent, and a little higher was $1.99, $2.99, $3.99, $4.99. And it kind of started going down, right? And there's this big slope heading down, $8.99, $9.99. And this slope almost bottoms out, and then all of a sudden it spikes up almost as high as the other side. And I asked Mark, I said, what are those? And he goes, those are box sets. And I was like, oh, interesting. I mean, if you look at the pricing, if you sell 100 books at 99 cents, okay, you're going to make $35, okay? If you sold those at $2.99, you'd only need to sell 17 to make the same amount. But if you sold at $9.99, you'd only need to sell 5. I mean, so these big ticket items and authors, especially named authors, are selling $40, $50 box sets out there. So what I suggest is you always you add up the retail, okay, and then you take a certain percentage off. You take like 30% off, and then you see what your number is. And if it seems too high to you, then go 40% off, and then test. I mean, that's, I think, where the key is nobody knows what the pricing is, or a price that works today is it going to work 6 months from now. You keep on having to test. So
yeah, and I think one of the important things for people to remember is, when I am with 11 other authors, we hit the New York Times back in 2014. And at that time, and that was with a 99-cent box set with 12 authors. Now, and everyone then went, 99-cent box sets are ruining the industry, as they do. And but what's interesting now is the 99-cent box set and the bundle it's still going. But as you say, there's this other side, which is the higher priced box set. And my box sets are like $7.99, $9.99. I've even got one, I think, for $22.99. It's like, a 9 book. It's not on Amazon, although Chris Rush said, well, why not put it on Amazon? Even if you get 30%, you're still getting,
true.
a decent amount. So I want people to think about that pricing. It's not, you can discount heavily for promotion or marketing reasons, or you can have this kind of higher priced product that some people will buy. So I think that's really important. The market's kind of spread out a bit now, I think, away from just that. And you can do both.
You can have the higher priced product. You have, a 6-book box set, 6 novels, let's say at $12.99, $14.99, something like that, and you do a 3-day sale. I mean, you have a lot more wiggle room to work with your sales when you have those big ticket items in your inventory. So
yeah, and also I think when people say, my first book isn't selling, I'm not doing very well, and the advice is, well, write another book. I actually think that these box sets mean that if you have 3 books, you're going to be in a much better situation, because as soon as you have 3 books, you can then put out a 4th format, which is the 3-book box set before your 4th book. So I think it adds another product to your author profile. As you say, it gives the algorithms a nudge, and in general it's a good thing. Now let's talk about covers, because some people like the 3D cover with the kind of like as if it's a real physical box set, and then other people go for the 2D covers. And in fact, Kobo and iBooks only accept 2D covers. So what are your thoughts around the 2D, 3D cover thing?
Okay, well, here's the problem with 3D covers. The retailers have their site designed around a 2D cover. So if you're building a 3D cover, you have half that image space wasted, really. So that's problem number one. problem number two is, like you say, I mean, iBooks thinks that a reader will see that 3D cover of it looks like a 3D physical box set, and they think they're ordering a 3D physical box set. So that's why they say I'm not going to allow that. Now on BundleRabbit, I only show the 3D images, but I mean, from the ground up, I designed that to be box set specific, so it looks like every package you see what it looks like if it was a physical thing, even though it's not. But so only do 2D covers, and there's different types of 2D covers too. When you're talking a box set, a bundle, you can have what I call an anthology looking cover. And if you go online and look at any anthology, you'll have like a single image or a piece of artwork, and you'll have a title, and you'll have a few authors listed on the cover, and maybe some other buy me now type text. That's what I call an anthology style, and I like that style. But a lot of people will put together a box set, and they think that they have to get those little teeny little covers of the individual books onto their cover. So they'll have a 2D cover with 3 or 4 little mini 2D covers, which nobody can see, even with a magnifying glass. I mean, I don't do that. You see thousands of them. So what? Don't do them. They don't convey anything. And sometimes they'll even put a 3D image cover on a 2D cover, which is acceptable by iBooks and whatnot. But again, that you don't. It's too small to see anything. And especially if you're looking at a book cover, the 2D cover at thumbnail size, sometimes you can't even tell that that's a book down there. So I mean, do not do that. Now I have seen some cool what I call a collage cover, where it's a box set, let's say, of 3 novels, and they'll take like a third of one novel and merge it with a third of a cover of the other novel, and come up with like a collage, which is all 3. But you can have just a simple 2D cover that has a single piece of art that says box set books 1 through 3 on it. And I mean, that to me is best on these outside places, the Amazon, Kobo, etc.
Yeah, I'm laughing so much because, of course, I do have covers with the tiny little thumbnail.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So now I'm like, okay, I need to change that for my 2D. So, yeah, I mean, you're right, of course. And I think it's because we all, probably because we all invested so much in our individual covers. And
Absolutely.
I think there's almost a mindset shift into thinking of these as like a different product. As you say, they literally take 5 minutes to make on vellum. So then you have to pay, you pay for another cover, obviously, and then you upload them. And I think it does feel like perhaps we need to take more care and perhaps design a new form of cover for the bundle or the box set. So yeah, really good ideas there. So you've mentioned, I guess, a few of the different sites. Is there, I mean, I obviously also upload my bundles and box sets directly to Amazon. Sure. But how does
and for a single author bundle, there's no advantage to you to use a service like BundleRabbit. I mean, that's really for multi-author bundles. Because where what's the problem with dealing with multiple authors? It's deciding, who's going to publish the thing, who's going to track the sales, who's going to track the income, who's going to divide it out, who's going to, do all that work, which is, quite a bit of work. I'm sure you've experienced that yourself. And so BundleRabbit does all that. That's the big advantage is, who handles the money there. So.
Yeah, because that is, and you and I have talked about this, but it makes it very hard. So I've just done this 4-author, and it's not a box set. It's a new project. It's a new novel, 4-author novel, American Demon Hunter's Sacrifice, with 3 other authors. And the fact is, Jay Thorne has published that. He will collect the money, and he will have to pay us for the end, until the end of time, or until we pull the book down. So it's a slightly different situation. But can you see a time where there might be a solution to that kind of problem? Like,
Yes,
how can
let
people
me
do
tell
that?
you. Okay, that's a perfect segue. Okay, so BundleRabbit does that behind the scenes for ebook bundles. It handles the multi-author, divvying up the percentages, paying authors monthly, giving them a royalty statement, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so that back end is built. So what I have developed, and it's just days away from beta, is collaborative publishing. It's like draft to digital for co-authors.
Wow.
Okay. And that's part of BundleRabbit. Okay, so my date to go live is this summer. June 21st is the first day of summer, so that's like my target. And I have my beta testers. They're all chomping at the bit to get it. So what happens is you go in and create a project. Now I'm keeping it under BundleRabbit for two reasons. I'm keeping it under BundleRabbit for one reason, and that is I have the engine built for the bundling software, right?
Yeah.
But to justify it, I said, okay, well, let's flip the concept of bundling. Instead of bundling multiple ebooks together, we'll bundle authors on a single ebook. Okay. Anyway, I just get that out. So what happens is you go in there and you say, yes, I'm going to take part of this collaborative publishing. I create a project. I invite the participants to the project. I set up everyone's percentage. I define what their roles are, because you might have illustrators, you might have translators, you might have, you could use this for a lot of different things. Then you decide where you want to publish this. Okay, I want to publish this at Amazon. You upload the finished digital assets for Amazon, which Amazon is just, the Mobi file and the cover. Same thing if you want a Kobo, you upload the assets for Kobo. You upload the assets for iBooks, and you upload the assets for Barnes & Noble. And for CreateSpace, you can upload either the print-ready PDF for the interior or a doc that follows their format, and the print-ready cover for CreateSpace. So basically, you have one unified dashboard where you're doing this, where you're publishing this collaboration, and then you say, fire it off, let me publish it. And then what I do behind the scenes is I push them to the various retailers. A couple times a month, I gather sales stats, so you can go in there and see how they're doing at the various retailers. And once a month, I collect the monies and divvy it across whatever percentage, that you specify. And I keep 10%. BundleRabbit keeps 10% for that service, which is, a pretty decent deal, I think. So
yeah. Wow, that's awesome. And I mean, listeners to the show will know that I have been talking about this kind of service, and I told Chuck about it last year. But with your programming background, you're definitely so well placed to do this. Now, a few practical questions. So, I'm in the UK, another person's in South Africa, another person's in India. How are you paying out those royalties? Is it PayPal? Is it bank transfer?
It's only PayPal.
Right.
I only pay via PayPal. So,
and what currency?
I report and show all the currency in US dollars. Okay, so like with Amazon, you get actual you get your currency on your income statement
in different currencies.
In the different currencies, but it's all comes in and is converted to USD. And then PayPal, when you pay, I'm paying USD, but it will convert it to whatever your currency is.
Yeah, so you could download that, but you're paying out in US dollars. So I have a US dollar PayPal that I maintain. So I think that's that works, definitely. And then can any of
You
the
can use your UK. I have people I'm paying a BundleRabbit.
Yeah,
that
you
are
can still get it in
UK.
pounds, but
Yeah.
I would like to nominate that even though I'm in the UK, I would still get paid US dollars because I do, a lot of business in US dollars. So I would
Okay.
definitely want the option to get paid in US dollars instead of GBP.
Okay.
So just something to think about. So who is the publisher of record? So for example, if we wanted to use an ISBN from one of the individuals instead of a free one, is that possible, or does it go because it goes through your account?
Yeah, so the publisher, it's going to be through my account, but there is a slot there for publisher name, imprint, on the various things. So if you plug it in, I will use the same value that you give me, and I don't know yet. I mean, we're just going to be. So I have also. I mean, basically, I spent, and here's what took so long. Oh man, I thought I'd be done by now, but the categories on these various sites. Oh my God, they're not all the same.
No, they're not.
They take the basic set and then they modify it themselves. And there's no one place to go on the internet to say, let me download all of Amazon's categories in a way that a programmer can use. No, it's
so you have to manually do it.
Cutting and pasting 4,000 to 6,000 categories out of each of these sites. That took hours of time where I'm just like listening to the radio, cut, paste. Yeah. Oh man, that hurt my time on this project, but it's done. It's past me. But yeah, so that's the cool thing though, is everything that you fill out there, I'm capturing so that I can just like push it right to the vendor.
And I think this is the point, like you're saying. So this is hopefully, the collaboration engine that people have
that you've talked about,
that I've talked about, which could revolutionize the number of people who do co-authoring, because it is such a pain in the proverbial having to do this. And the fact is, if you do a collaboration, especially if you do a collaboration that doesn't sell very much, and then you have to spend your time every month dividing $10 between 6 authors or whatever, and even if it does, and the other thing is, this is potentially for the life of copyright, so this could go on for years and years. This is not necessarily a quick bundle that's only for 6 months. Like Sacrifice is going to go on for years. So that's why I think this model is well worth 10%. It's because of the amount of time. I mean, obviously some people are like, oh well, why would I do that? And the point is, if you're doing it every month yourself and you're doing it with, say, like someone like Jay Thorne, who works with loads of authors, then setting all this up in advance and then it's automatic. Plus, it is a pain doing all this royalty reporting every month and paying out people. So I love this model. I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. So if people want to, people could be listening to this in a long time. So let's assume that they can go and check it out. Where can they go and find more about the collaboration engine side of things? If
they go to BundleRabbit.com, it's all under BundleRabbit, and once it is actually live, I will have a tab up at the top that'll say collaboration that you can read all about it. But right now, like I say, it's somewhat hidden. If you're a member of BundleRabbit, you see this collaboration area in your members area. But it says this is coming. It's going to be cool. And my beta tester is the only one that actually can see and do anything at this point. So, BundleRabbit.com.
Yeah, that is awesome. And if they go to BundleRabbit.com now, just remind everybody what is the main thing that they can do at BundleRabbit.
Okay, You can be in multi-author bundles. You upload your ebook to the marketplace, curators, search through, find your book, build bundles, sell bundles. You become part of bundles.
There we go.
So,
woohoo! And just again, tell us the name of your book and where people can find that as well.
It's The Author's Guide to Ebook Bundling, and it's on all the retailers. You can you can go to Amazon, wherever. You could actually, and for a short period of time, I'm not sure how long I'm going to do this, you could go sign up for a BundleRabbit newsletter and receive a free copy of this book for signing up. So that's right now. Like I said, I don't know how much longer I'm. Maybe another few months. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, another few months for my listeners. Okay, Chuck, thank you so much. And I'm really excited that you have taken this idea and actually are making it happen. I think, I feel like this is a really big deal, and not just for writers, but like you mentioned, you could do a deal with an editor or a cover designer or someone else.
Illustrators, yes.
Could be
translators.
This is huge. A musician. I mean, there's lots of things you could do. So I hope this is the multi-million-dollar idea. I really do. And I'll be wanting a beer at some point.
Yes. Not a problem.
All right. Thanks so much for your time, Chuck. That was great.
Thank you.